following is a Orions Sportscast production. Here are your hosts, Josh Egan, Brandon Waterhouse, and Jarrett Moore.
Oh boy, do we have a show for you this week. Smackdown was awesome. Rampage was fucking awesome. There is so much hype behind pro wrestling this week. Drew McIntyre might just fucking murder Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. Who knows what's going to happen? This is exciting. What did you think of... Oh, by the way, welcome to the Orions belt. We're doing a special Monday show because there's no hockey to talk about, so we're just going to replace it with a wrestling show. For those of you who wanted hockey news, Austin Matthews had wrist surgery. He will be out 6 weeks. So what do you think of wrestling this week, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great because wrestling was fucking great. Like...
Aren't we in a much better mood to start this show than we were last week?
I was just gonna say, I think I said I was pissed off a few times during the last episode, and now I'm stoked. Friday was excellent.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched a SmackDown segment over on YouTube as much as I've watched that opening segment with Cena and Reigns, which we'll get to later. But Rampage, excellent. What a start. It leads into another thing we'll get into later. It leads into the Friday night.
Yeah,
but excellent. I'm in an excellent mood. Wrestling is fantastic right now. Mm-hmm. If we could have these episodes and just not talk about Raw and NXT, I think we would be in this mood a lot more than we wouldn't. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. Like I was just on the Offside Hockey Talk show, and check them out. They're really good. I'm on that every week. But, you know, I ended up talking with James, who's the host there, about wrestling at the end, and we actually were going to air it because it was such a good discussion. And he's older than me, but he still watches wrestling. And he was saying, yeah, you know, I used to be, you know, like ashamed to watch it and embarrassed to tell people I watched it. But now I'm like, no, it's getting to that point again where you're like, I need to know what's going to happen. And it's not every show. It's not Raw. You don't have to watch Raw every week. Right now, I feel like you don't need to watch NXT every week. But you got to tune into Dynamite every week. Right now, you have to tune into SmackDown every week. And you better have your fucking channel on TSN Direct next week because Dynamite's going to, not Dynamite, Rampage is going to be phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Like, what a show they delivered.
I think it was, 700,000 for their debut. And I think anytime that Dynamite got pushed into that Friday night slot at the same time, they got down to like 400, 500. So the fact that a debut episode on Friday night went to 700, like that's ridiculous. That's a great start, and it's only going to get better for AEW. And if that's what's going to make SmackDown a little bit more serious, and they actually want to try a little bit, then yeah, so be it. We're talking about the Wednesday Night Wars. What about a Friday Night Wars?
Friday Night Wars might be a thing. Does Rampage go to 2 hours? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
But if they bring the dynamic like that, we can talk about this at the end. Let's just get to the recap of the shows, and then we can talk about our just Friday night experience. Maybe we should call this show. Maybe we should have 2 wrestling shows, Friday Night Lights and something else. I don't know. We'll talk about it off the air. Although that sounds like a pretty good idea. So what were your thoughts going into SmackDown? Because I didn't read any previews. I watched it live for the first time in like 3 months. So I was pretty impressed with the show as a whole. What did you think of SmackDown?
Well, I wasn't expecting anything because just going into any other Friday night, I don't really expect much from SmackDown just because it's a WWE show.
Yeah,
I hate to say that because SmackDown has been the most consistent show out of probably all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Last Friday, I had a little bit more excitement when it came to pro wrestling, and that's obviously because of Rampage, but it almost led into SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I was going to get food when SmackDown started, so I came and watched it on a delay.
Yeah.
But you were messaging me when everything was happening, and what you were saying, I was like, I got to go home and I got to watch this ASAP.
Just the opening segment, man. Like
I almost regretted not sitting on my couch and watching it live when it started. But the fact that you were messaging me with such excitement, and I was like, I got to get home to watch a WWE show right now. I sat down. The show started. The Cena thing happened. Reigns was excellent. The whole show just came together. There was actually good wrestling. You usually don't see that when it comes to WWE shows, but I don't know. It was just full of excitement.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Let's break it down. So we're doing a little bit of a different format. We're going to do like most impactful segment followed by the least impactful. So we'll just go down the list. So SmackDown, the most important and most impressive segment was the opening. So it opens with a Cena Reigns promo. Cena comes out, cuts a little mini promo, and then Reigns comes out, but it went right to commercial as he was halfway down the ramp, which I found a little weird, but it made sense later because they did not want a commercial to cut the promo duel, which went on. So this was really good. I found a clip on YouTube that is going to play the highlights of it. So I'm just going to play that right now. I can't screen share it, but I'll audio share it with you. But this whole thing, like Reigns brought the energy, Cena brought the lines. Like it was one of the best back and forths I've seen. The last back and forth they had was cut off, or not cut off, but Cena won it because if you remember, he turned to Reigns and he said, Reigns forgot his lines. And Cena said, it's called a promo, kid. If you want to be the big dog, you got to get used to it. So my hopes for this promo battle were a little low, but it delivered.
And that's what I was kind of impressed with. The fact that Roman Reigns didn't back down. He kind of had, he contained that cocky attitude he had since he's kind of started this new character. But like he just didn't back down. He stuttered on a couple lines, but it was okay just because it just seemed real. And who doesn't stutter on the lines? Me speaking. Yeah. But it just felt like he didn't back down. He was almost like the big dog the whole time. Like I didn't feel like he got down a peg at all. Like I feel like he was still the tribal chief at the end of the day. But Cena was just trash talking him into the ground. But Roman Reigns had that cocky attitude and just stood there like a champ.
Yeah, so let's play it. I'll pause it a couple times just so we can talk about it because it is a 2-minute clip. Let me know if you can hear it. And okay, here we go.
You've been protected, Roman. You've been protected by the Shield. Hell, you almost ruined Seth Rollins. You ran Dean Ambrose out of WWE. You've had.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So when you say that, you mentioned Dean Ambrose, who was probably the biggest crossover from WWE to AEW. The night that AEW Rampage is debuting, literally hours before on an international show, which is being aired live, I was like, holy shit, these guys are going for the throat here. I thought this line was the, you know what? No, this line was the second best thing he said in this promo.
I agree. When it came to like the shock value, I think it was obviously number one. But I just like it was shocking at one point because I was just like, are they like in a way putting over AEW? Because like
that's what I thought. Cena didn't put Reigns over; he put AEW over.
But at the same time, he said Dean Ambrose, and it was just like everyone's just gonna be like, where's Dean Ambrose now? But
dude, imagine if he said you ran Moxley out of town.
Oh my God. There wouldn't be a match at SummerSlam. He said
no.
But I just like how they reached into behind the fourth wall. He kind of reached out there, said the name, and everyone got that reaction. And that's another thing going back to Reigns and giving him credit. He said the name Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns didn't smile, didn't say anything. He just looked at him. Stone Cold.
We'll get to the facial reactions at the end because these guys were having fun with it. Let's get to the next little bit of the pro. We're only 11 seconds into a 2-minute video, by the way. So, all right, here's the next little bit.
You've had 10 whole years, 5 WrestleMania main events, Paul Heyman in your corner, 2 lackeys to do your dirty work, the protection of the system, and it still isn't working. You need to be embarrassed. You people want a compelling story at SummerSlam, right? You people want to be at the edge of your seat, wanting to know what's going to happen. You are right about so much. SummerSlam will be compelling. I will go to a Hollywood movie set, and you will smash me. But he knows better than anybody how much punishment I can take.
That's where it gets good.
Quit. I've been against the odds my whole freaking life. I built Suplex City, and all I...
Okay, so that line right there, I built Suplex City. That was in reference to him just getting fucking demolished. What was it? Was it
2013?
Yeah, it was like, was it an Extreme Rules or no?
I think it was just a straight up up wrestling match.
I forget the pay-per-view.
Destroyed him.
Yeah, it was like 16 suplexes, one for every title Cena's won.
It was a SummerSlam for sure.
Oh, maybe it was SummerSlam. I don't know, but it was that line hit. Like it was like, oh shit, okay, he gets it. He gets it. He knows what he's got to do.
And SmackDown has been doing this a lot when it comes to like the storytelling thing. They've been pulling a lot of things from like at least 5 or 6 years ago into the storyline today.
Yeah, same with like
I give major credit to.
Yeah, Edge and Rollins are doing the same thing. I'll get to them later. So let's get to the rest of this promo.
I need to do is just hang in there. 1, 2, 3. And you're the biggest failure in WWE history. You have to shine. You have to smash and bash and overachieve. All I need is 1, 2, 3. And
so I love that whole thing. The whole like main drive behind this promo was the whole 1, 2, 3 thing. Cena's saying, I don't have to impress at SummerSlam. I just have to hang in there. I don't have to out wrestle you. I just got to hang in there. All I got to do is pin you for 3 seconds and you're a punchline. I was like, damn, you know what? He's right.
No, literally, like, and he used the line, like, yeah, exactly, like that, like a punchline. It's
yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3. That's all I got to do. I don't got to. I just got to show up. I got to pin you. I don't care if you bloody me. I don't care if you kill me. I just got to pin you. 1, 2, 3. Like that's all I got to do. That's all I have to do.
It was a great message behind the promo, and I loved it because at first I was like, what the hell is he talking about? Like he's got to beat him. I'm like, yeah, he's got to beat him, but he doesn't have to out wrestle him.
Like, because at the beginning of the promo, he's like, oh, Roman Reigns is going to beat me up. And then he's like, Roman Reigns is going to beat me up. And I was like, wait a second, where's this promo going? And then he kind of landed into the 1, 2, 3 thing. And I was like, oh, okay, like this makes sense. I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, it was good. All right, let's get to the last little 50 seconds.
Answer to a trivia question.
Oh.
Who did John Cena beat to become 17-time champion? Wah, wah, wah. You're going to show up all full of yourself like you normally do and put on a hell of a show. I'm just going to hang in there for 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to take your title. I'm going to jump the barricade, and I'm going to run out of Allegiant Stadium as fast as I can. I may even blow you a kiss goodbye.
CM Punk. CM Punk.
Yeah, so that was the line that got me because I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And then I remembered, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. People give Cena shit all the time saying he's overhyped, he's overused. This was perfect. It's probably the best promo I've seen in the last 5 years. Since the
pipe bomb era, some would say.
Yeah. Like I can't think off the top of my head in recent memory of a better, back and forth than this. I mean, I know I only played the Cena clips, but we don't have 33 minutes to play the whole thing. So, but that whole CM Punk reference, that got me going. I was like, okay, these guys mean business here. It was great they were allowed to go off script and use this. Apparently backstage, Vince McMahon loved it. These two avoided each other all day because they just wanted to shoot from the hip. What were your thoughts on this whole segment?
Well, one thing I want to say is I want to give Roman Reigns credit. Because one of the favorite things I had in the promo was when Roman Reigns turned to Paul Heyman and was like, "You hear him, Paul? He's here to help me." And then Paul Heyman said to Roman, "Oh, you should say thank you." And Roman Reigns kind of just gave him that like smart aleck smirk, like, I'm not going to say thank you.
Yeah.
Like it was just that again, that cocky attitude that Roman maintained that whole time. Even he got, I mean, let's be honest, John Cena easily won the promo battle. Obviously, it was designed for John Cena to win. It was designed for John Cena to verbally destroy him.
Roman Reigns came third place in a 2-person fight.
Exactly, but at the same time, you could almost say that Roman Reigns helped himself
by not saying anything. Yeah,
not saying anything with that cocky attitude.
You know what he was being, and I hate that I'm saying this. He was being the big dog.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, people, anybody listening to this, I don't like Roman Reigns. I don't usually like to give that guy any credit because he's been shoved down my throat for the last 6 years. But he is the best thing in WWE right now. And he maintained that cocky attitude, like I said, and he was just a star among stars. Even though he was being verbally bashed by Cena.
Yeah, no, this was great. If you can watch the video, it's fantastic. Like their facial expressions. There's a couple of times, like especially after the Ambrose and the Punk line, Reigns is like cracking a smile. He's like, that's good. But he never
exactly.
he never breaks character. Heyman just looks pissed the whole time, which I thought was phenomenal. But like I forget the blocking of it when they're focused on Reigns, you can only see Heyman like in the corner like this.
Yeah.
So
Or when Heyman,
it's just his
has like the
face.
title.
Yeah,
And then
he's
Cena's just like, what are you doing? And then he just like slowly brings it down.
Yeah, like even Heyman was good in this. And what I loved was that the commentators shut the fuck up. I didn't have Michael Cole orgasming in the mic.
But if you go back and watch it, the only person saying things is Pat.
Yeah.
And which is okay because Pat came from a sports background, so he knows when to say something and when not to say something. When there's injuries, when it comes to that stuff, he just knows when to say something.
Yeah. By the way, just totally off topic, I was watching TikTok the other day, and I saw a TikTok of Pat McAfee's best moments, and there was one where Baron Corbin needed a mic, and he just goes, I think he said, bum ass Corbin wants a mic. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is so good.
Which is a little example of what happens when Vince McMahon. This is a really good point to make. This is what happens when Vince McMahon finally gives a little bit of freedom to his superstars and even his announcers. Things get better and things seem more real.
These people are performers. Let them perform.
Yeah, literally, let them perform. Are you gonna let an actor act? Yeah, of course. He's good at it. Let a performer perform.
All right. So, any final thoughts? First off, this went 33 minutes. We haven't had a punch thrown in SmackDown, and it's 8:33 when they cut to commercial. So, I was like, "Damn, this could have closed the show." But nope, they opened with it. I loved it. Fully enjoyed it. Let's keep a grade up. Let's keep a grade of SmackDown this week. So, SmackDown grade for me started with an A. I'm not going to give it an A+, but I'll start with an A. Would you agree there?
I'll go with an A-.
A-. All right, so let's average there is okay, we'll go A-. All right, so next up we have a Raw of importance. It's not on the show. We're just going by what I liked the best. Rollins and Edge. So Edge wasn't here this week, so it was all Rollins. Rollins is all worked up that Edge called him Edge late last week, so that riled him up. He's the architect, so he wants to prove that to him. In conclusion, Rollins pretty much says that he has a more decorated career in WWE than Edge does. And you know what? He might. But Edge did lose 10 years of his wrestling career because he had to retire in 2011. But he did put up his top moments against Seth's. Or Seth put his best moments up against Edge's, and they compared them. This probably means like next week Edge is going to come out and say, no, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm blah, blah, blah. So let's start this discussion with this question. Who has had the better career, Edge or Seth Rollins?
I'm going to go with Edge.
I would go with Edge, but he only wins that slightly.
But my thing is, it's the whole, it's who you know. I can go up to a non-wrestling fan and they might know who Edge is. They're not gonna know who Seth Rollins is.
That's
right?
true.
And when it comes to a WWE career, or when it comes to a wrestling career, it's all about who knows you and who's gonna show up to when you're there. So you can see it now. The people are there to see Edge. People might not be there to see Seth Rollins.
See, I was gonna save this point for later, but I'll bring it up now. This match for me is the clash of generations. These two guys, they're the same guy. They cut promos the same way. They have similar styles in the ring. Rollins is slightly more high flying. Edge is slightly more in your face brawl type. But the younger generation, they're going for Rollins. The older generation, like you and I, we grew up watching Edge. I hope Edge kicks his ass.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who wins this match because I love Rollins. I think he's probably one of the top 3 of my favorites in WWE right now. And I love Edge. I just want him to win everything right now. Him and Jeff Hardy just win it all. But this match is I think it's going to steal SummerSlam. So the back and forth and the hype towards the match, I'm glad they're not laying their hands on each other because I don't want to see that right now. Save that for SummerSlam.
No, exactly. Just let them verbally joust at each other because they're so good verbally. Like, let them get the mic, let them shoot promos on each other. Let it build up with hatred through their voices. I don't want to see them fight. I'll see them fight in the ring. That's what the ring is there for. Like, I've never liked that thing when people brawl in WWE because it's like, if you guys really want to fight that bad, just wrestle. Like that's kind of what you're doing there. So it's one of those things where it makes promos important. It makes the words important. It's one of those things where now I can actually listen to them talk and hear stories from 2014, 2015, Edge in 2019 and 2020, or sorry, 2020 and 2021 when they eliminated Seth Rollins from the Rumble.
Right.
So it's those pullback stories, right?
Yeah. You brought up promotion. If I say UFC, who's the first person you think of?
Conor McGregor.
Okay, what's he great at?
Talking shit.
Promoting a fight. Okay, I've heard several different answers to that question. There's no wrong answer when I say what do you think of. I hear Dana White, great at promoting fights, great fight promoter. I hear Joe Rogan
talking shit.
Yeah, I hear Joe Rogan, great at talking shit. Some of it, don't listen to his podcast maybe, but he's great at promoting a fight too. Ronda Rousey was great at promoting fights. There's people in the UFC, the top stars know how to promote a fight. The owner or one of the owners, the face of the UFC is Dana White. He knows how to promote a fight. And that's what the WWE needs to do if they want that real feel to it. So I'm glad they're doing this with this match. Hell, they're doing it with Cena Reigns too.
No, exactly. It's like, and that's what I almost like about Cena, because he's not going to be in the ring unless he needs to.
Exactly.
So that's what almost makes it more special. So that's one of the, it's one of like MJF. I don't want to talk about too much AEW because we're talking SmackDown.
Yeah.
But MJF, he doesn't wrestle that much. But the fact that he's so good on the mic, you don't even care if he's good in the ring or not. You just want to see him get his ass kicked when when it's his time. But you don't really want to see him wrestle. You just want to see him talk. So it builds everything. Like, for instance, we're gonna watch this Jericho versus MJF match next week on Dynamite on a TV instead of a pay-per-view, and we're just as stoked for the match because of the verbal stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can build up any type of match, if you can do it right when it comes to promos.
Exactly. I agree with that. All right, let's get to the next segment. Nakamura wins the Intercontinental Championship. The match started out, Aziz and Rick Booz were interfering, and then the referee actually made a smart decision for once and threw them both out. Aziz came back and then got ejected again. I don't know how that would work. Cruz started the match and he was yelling at Boogs for 10 seconds, and then Nakamura didn't take advantage of this, so that kind of pissed me off a little bit. Cruz blocked a Kinshasa and then tried to cheat, but the ref caught him. Nakamura kicked out of a finisher, and then he hit a second Kinshasa. That did it, and we have a new Intercontinental Champion. I love this because Boogs and McAfee were celebrating on the announce table. I wasn't really expecting a title change here, so it was a nice surprise. I actually really enjoyed this match, and I always like seeing a title change on TV. So it was a nice surprise. Good for Nakamura. Always, this guy should have gold around his belt. I mean, it should be the Universal Championship, but whatever.
No, 100%. Like I totally agree with what you just said. Nakamura should be like the heavyweight champion, the WWE champion, some type of world champion. But
not this version of him, though.
No, not this version of him, because it's kind of a comedic act. But if you want to throw back to what he was when he first got there, when he debuted, and the crowd,
give me the
super over,
the Samoa Joe Nakamura.
No, 100%, exactly. But it's one of those things where I'm just glad they're doing something with him because of how good he is. He can, even on his laziest day, he is probably one of the best pro wrestlers in the world. Yeah. On his laziest day,
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. Next up, we have the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy. This was a rematch. Otis looks like he wants to attack me in a park, so I don't like his look right now.
Give the guy a beard, please.
Exactly. Otis did the follow-away slam to Angelo Dawkins, he made it look easy, which was awesome. There was some shenanigans at the end where Gable accidentally tagged in, and then Montez Ford almost killed himself jumping outside of the ring. The Street Profits get the win, but of course this will lead to another rematch because there was some controversy.
One thing I want to add is this is interesting because Montez Ford was on this show, but keep it Bianca and Sasha have missed 2 live events this week.
I totally skipped that. I scrolled right by that segment. We'll get to that right after this.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. So they've missed the 2 previous live shows this weekend. So just keep an eye on Montez Ford next week, and even Angelo Dawkins to see if they're there, because with the COVID world we're in, there might be some SummerSlam changes coming up.
Yeah. So to the segment I missed because I've had several drinks. There was this was a contract signing. Great. But it was an actual signing. Like, they actually signed the contract this time. It was weird. So Sasha Banks comes out, and then she decides that she needs witnesses for some reason. Never fucking seen this before, but okay, whatever. Carmella and Selena come out as Sasha's witnesses. It was weird. But I guess these are the only other heels on SmackDown, so that's fine. I mean, Bayley's out right now, so I guess that's why. Belair signed the contract, throws it right at Banks, and then I guess she did this because she knew the heels were going to attack her. Kind of made it look smart. She got the upper hand, flipped the table in the ring, tried to take out Banks. Banks get the upper hand, and she put Belair in the Banks statement and then used her braid against her, which I like. Nobody came out to break this up.
Yeah, because no babyface has friends. You didn't know that?
Like, no referees, no Fit Finley, no Jamie Noble, no J&J security.
J&J security.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, this was weird that nobody came out to break it up. It was just kind of cut to commercial with Belair being choked out. So, all right, cool. Don't really like contract signings. The only cool contract signing was when Undertaker came out to challenge Brock at WrestleMania. That's the best contract signing I can remember.
But even still, though, it's one of those things where, like, even in AEW, when they say contract signing, I'm still maybe not excited, because, like, who gets excited for a contract signing? But I still need to tune in because of something that might happen. There might be a stipulation added. There might be something added.
But it never happens.
But even still, it's that I might need to watch this with WWE. When was the last time you needed to watch a contract signing?
When Brock Lesnar had an open contract signing for WrestleMania.
Exactly. Which was how many years ago? With AEW, I can give you one right away with the John Moxley thing last year when he got MJF to sign the contract.
Yeah.
And the whole last page was all in favor for Moxley. Mm-hmm. So it might be something small, but if it ends up changing something, I'm there for it. But with WWE, it's a common theme. They just keep throwing the same thing out, hoping that it's eventually going to hit, and it's just not.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to switch these up. The only thing worse than a contract signing is a face-to-face in the ring, and Raw's doing one of those tonight, which I'm sure we'll talk about on the next show. So we did that. So we got 2 matches left. We have Rey and Dominic beat the Dirty Dogs. This is actually a pretty good match. It did tease a little bit of tension between Rey and Dominic, but they did get the win. So I don't quite know what they're trying to do here. Dominic pinned Bobby Roode. Or Robert Roode. I don't know what the hell he's going by now. It's Bobby Roode or Robert Roode. Kind of a weird way to book the match, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was a fun match. Do you think we'll see Rey versus Dominic anytime soon?
I'm hoping not, but probably.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
It needs a way longer build up. There needs to be tension, and there needs to be tension for a little bit before I even care about seeing those two fight.
Be a Chavo Guerrero on a pole match or something like that.
Dominic's what's it called? Dominic's paperwork on a pole match.
It'll be Dominic and Goldberg versus Rey and Gage.
Gage, yeah, Gage and yeah. Wow, what a match!
WrestleMania main event right there.
Yeah.
And then the final segment here, we got Kevin Owens versus Baron Corbin. Fuck, I forgot. Baron Corbin. Karen Corbin.
He can't afford for us to say his name anymore.
He can't afford his name.
Yeah. So Karen Corbin came down to the ring.
Yeah, he comes down to the ring. This all started because Owens interrupted him for him like begging for change because Baron Corbin is a hobo now. So the stipulation, if Owens beats him, he can't be a hobo anymore or something like that. I don't know. This match went pretty long, to be honest, longer than I thought it would. I love watching Owens wrestle. It was entertaining. There was a good bump on the apron from Owens, and Corbin's deep six always looks amazing. Owens wins, and then Corbin got stunned and then stole Big E's Money in the Bank for some reason.
Because that's good shit, pal.
Yeah, I don't know. This was a weird one, but yay, Owens wins. So SmackDown. Oh, we forgot to grade the rest of the fucking matches. What do you give SmackDown?
B plus.
I was thinking B plus too. They are a Daniel Bryan. They are a B plus player.
Brian Danielson, sorry, sir. Daniel Bryan's no more.
Ryback.
Feed me more.
Feed me more. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be back for some Rampage. And we're back. We just had to take a quick break to do some show planning, apparently. So we're going to, AEW Rampage debuts immediately after SmackDown, which was fucking awesome because SmackDown was really good. You're pumped up. You're hyped. You know what? Kudos to WWE for helping us get excited for AEW Rampage. Like, good for them.
No, seriously. I mean, and in a way, it also made me excited for next Friday, not only because of Rampage, but because of SmackDown too. Because it's just like, okay, like is SmackDown like trying a little harder because of Rampage? So part of me wants to tune in next week to check it out. Exactly.
I think they have to. You know what? I've said this before. I'll say it again. Competition only benefits the consumer.
No, 100%. Like what do you say about a good hockey game when there's two good teams?
What a fucking game.
Wow. Exactly. This is great. This is great for everybody. Who cares who wins? This is great for everybody. Yeah, that's how a wrestling match should be.
Yeah. And like, I don't care who wins between WWE and AEW. I want to see a good wrestling promotion storyline. Sure. Am I swung towards some guys on WWE? Like, do I want to see Jeff Hardy as champion? Yeah. Do I want to see Edge with a title run? Yes. Do I want to see The Undertaker come back, win the Royal Rumble, and just defeat 30 guys at WrestleMania? Yeah, I'd love to see that. But AEW can do some things that WWE can't do. WWE can do some things AEW can't do. These guys are going to start pushing each other now that AEW has two shows. Oh, what about AEW? It's on YouTube. Shut the fuck up. Now they have two televised shows.
Yeah. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the fact that like what happened when AEW got hot? You had people jumping.
Yeah.
You don't think if WWE started to win this war that people won't jump back?
Of course.
Like that's how it goes. Like what happened? Like I'm a sports fan. You're a sports fan. You're a hockey fan. I'm a hockey fan. What happens when a team gets good and gets to the top of the standings? People want to get traded there. People want to sign there. It's
not even that. It's when something gets exciting and draws your interest. Prime example, the Seattle Kraken.
Exactly. And before that, it was the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah. This year,
it's exciting.
This year, it was the Florida Panthers. Hey, these guys are good.
No, exactly. It's when something brings excitement, people are going to tune in, people are going to watch, people are going to see it. That's how it works.
Yeah. We could talk about this a little more. Let's just recap Rampage. This shouldn't take too long. It's only an hour show, but boy, did they pack a lot into an hour. So the show opens with, and they're in Pittsburgh, by the way. Pittsburgh. So they open with Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega. Omega donned all of his championships. So his AEW one, his Impact one, his TNA win, which I thought was defunct, and then his AAA title. Don Callis was with him. It was a nice touch of the Forbidden Door. And then, it was pretty good. Cocky trash talk before the match. Christian won the initial lockup. This was a fantastic match. The first big bump didn't really come until about 10 to 12 minutes in, where Christian hit a sunset flip powerbomb off the turnbuckle, and then he went for the kill switch, but Omega used his elbow to get free. So I liked that. And then Omega takes control of the match with a rolling fireman's carry. I liked that. It was it rolled into a cross-leg pickup, but Christian countered that with an inverted DDT. And then Christian went for a spear, but that was met with a big knee from Omega. And then he survived a powerbomb and a V trigger to kick out. One Wing Angel was hit, but he countered it with a sunset flip, which was a nice little spot there. Omega rolled through to attack with a V trigger. Christian sensed it coming, so he ducked. But Omega's knee collided with the turnbuckle. Christian capitalized on that with a spear, but it wasn't enough to keep Omega down. So nice of Christian to just keep hitting Edge's spear in this match. I loved it. And then kind of in like the closing moments of the match, Kenny Omega found kind of his, got a boost of energy, hit a pair of Snapdragon suplexes. Christian rolled under the ropes to stop a V-trigger. And then Christian snapped Omega's neck on the ropes to set up a frog splash, which only got a 2 count. And then Callis caused a distraction. Omega low blow Christian, and then the Young Bucks ran. This whole thing here was phenomenal. The Young Bucks run to the ring. They throw a chair in, but the champ, Omega went to go and use the chair, but Christian used it to his advantage. Hit the kill switch on the chair. Referee finally turns around after Christian had thrown the chair out of the ring, pins him for the 1, 2, 3, and we have a new Impact World Champion.
Oh, amazing! I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I definitely called this the last episode of Orion's Belt. Just saying, no big deal. But it was an excellent match. It was everything that you needed to happen because you needed to care about the match happening at All Out. Even though me and you, I think, are both doubters that's the match that's actually going to be happening.
I want to talk about that later.
Oh, we will. But like what I said, but it makes you excited to see another match between these two, because before you're like, I don't think Christian could beat Kenny Omega. So the fact that it was proven to us like that, even with a little help, that Christian can definitely beat Kenny Omega. And I was actually watching BTE. I don't know if you've ever watched any of the episodes of BTE on YouTube. It's kind of hard to watch sometimes, but they were talking about it was the Young Bucks backstage before they came out to give Kenny the chair, and they kept repeating, "Oh, we should go out and give Kenny the chair because it'll help him win. It'll help him win. It'll help him win." And they kept just repeating that, which obviously leading into the finish of the match where the steel chair that they brought out led to the finish that Kenny losing. So it was just kind of funny.
Yeah, this was a fantastic match. The crowd was hot. It got me into it. I want to give a shout out to the commentary team. They were phenomenal. I thought a 4-man booth wouldn't work, but it was so good. The only criticism I have was they kept cutting to picture-in-picture and then saying that, oh, we'll be right back after this picture-in-picture commentary break. But because we were on the Canadian feed, we didn't get to picture-in-picture. We just still had the full screen with no commercials because it was on TSN Direct. So there was some points where I could just kind of hear commentary half-assing it because they weren't on the live stream in the States. So I was like, okay, but whatever. And now I'm nitpicking.
So I actually watch it on the TNT feed.
Yeah.
And so I got all those picture-in-pictures, which was even more of a piss-off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll have to give you my TSN login so we can so you can see like with that login I can watch it in 4K on my TV, so it's nice good quality. So that's the only reason. Otherwise, I would watch it on the American stream. But no, I didn't know it was on TSN until about 9:45 when I checked. So this was a great match. I think it's going to lead to we'll talk about it later. Next up, we have Walmart Rey Mysterio versus Lana's bitch. This is. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I was not expecting that.
I do. That's all I saw.
Gentlemen.
I couldn't take this match seriously because I'm like, why is Walmart Rey Mysterio in the ring? Who is this guy?
His name is Fuego del Sol.
He's never been on the show before.
Hey, he likes all my tweets when I tweet at him, okay? So I got to give this guy a chance.
Tweet him this clip.
Yeah, I will.
Walmart Rey Mysterio and Lana's bitch. Rusev was great in this match. Walmart Rey Mysterio was also pretty good. It was I don't want to call it a squash match, but Miro was good. He beats Fuego del Sol to retain the TNT Championship. And then this is what pissed me off. So I was like, okay, you can make Miro a huge heel here by obligating that he ripped the contract up and then he left the ring and he was like, you know what? Fuck you, Walmart Rey Mysterio. And then Tony Khan and Sammy Guevara come out and they're like, oh, you're signed anyway.
See, but the stipulation was if he loses, he can never I disagree with this one because I'm on the side of I actually like this. So the stipulation wasn't if you lose, you never get to sign an AEW contract. It was if you win, you get an AEW contract. Don't
do this after the match. Do it on Dynamite or something.
No, exactly. This is one of those things
you're going for a cheap pop. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, 100%. But it's one of those things where, as a fan of Fuego, I definitely enjoyed it because it was a feel good moment, and I later learned that it was actually real. So he didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, that's cool. That was cool.
But I definitely agree with you in some sense because it was one of those things where you just went for a cheap pop on the first episode of a new show.
Yeah,
and you got it, but
like you could have had a real chance to tell a story here with Miro being like this massive heel with huge heat. He's like, no, fuck this guy. I don't want him on my promotion. And
exactly.
What did you just drop?
I think I dropped my pen. Something fell. I don't know. Something broke.
But no, I thought this was it was a decent match. I didn't like the whole storytelling thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But then we have Darby Allin and Sting watching the show from the rafters, which is, I guess they can. I guess
I
they
like
couldn't
it so
get.
much, to be honest with you. It's
I guess
so
they couldn't
weird, but
afford
so cool.
front row tickets. I mean, you work for the company, you just ask for seats.
And then if you saw it, Kanye was channeling his inner Sting the other night at the Atlanta Falcons game.
Yeah, that was cool. And then AEW promoted the best in the world for Rampage next week. So
Punk.
I guess Jeff Hardy is all elite. So next up we have Britt.
I like it. I wish.
I wish. Yeah. So next up we have finally we have Britt Baker versus Red Velvet. Now I messaged you. I said this match is only getting 13 minutes. Oh my God, did they pack a lot into 13 minutes?
Too much, probably, if you want me to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Especially the end, because they didn't really give the end enough time to like kind of develop.
Right. So I'm going to go through this and I'm going to tell you how I thought it should have ended and how they could have hyped up the next episode because I thought my idea was phenomenal. So Red Velvet went for a finisher right off the bat, but Britt Baker escaped. Velvet utilized a wristlock takedown. You know, you get some momentum building throughout the match. Velvet was on a roll. She hit a super kick and a moonsault. Britt Baker kicks out at 2. Baker then hits a superplex into a backbreaker across her knee. That was a nice little spot. Velvet survived a curb stomp to continue the fight. And this was a good back and forth match. You get to the end. Where is it here? Velvet smashed the injured wrist in an effort to break free, but Baker transitioned to the other side for a left-handed lockjaw, and then Velvet tapped out. Great match. I thought it was a good pop. Nice win of the hometown hero, I guess, wins. After the match, Baker sent a statement by just beating Velvet down to a pulp with a swinging neck breaker. She was going to hit the curb stomp onto the title belt, but Chris Statlander made the save. And then all of a sudden, the person I have never seen before in my life, who was apparently Jamie Hayter, comes back out. And then they, hit the curb stomp to Velvet anyway. So that's the end of the debut episode of Rampage, which...
Yeah, the last time Jamie Hayter was on an AEW episode of anything, it was 2019.
Right. I just kind of forgot who she was.
Well, she looks completely different, so I don't blame you. Before she had dark hair, she was a bit bigger, and now she's just blonde, and she's in great shape. So we'll see that we will see where that goes.
Right. So my idea for the ending of this show was that Britt Baker is celebrating in the ring, and then AJ Lee's music hits, and she comes out and just skips around the ring, and then goes back up the ramp, back into the back. That's perfect.
Yeah. I don't think I could disagree with that.
How great would that have been?
It would be phenomenal, but would that have happened? No, but it would have been great.
She doesn't even have to sign with the company. She could have just done a skip around the ring.
That would have been phenomenal.
What the hell is this? I don't know. I guess we'll have to tune in next week.
On Rampage.
We're all tuning in anyway, bud.
Yeah, biggest crowd in AEW history. Did you see that commercial too?
Yeah, so what are they seating in there?
They're everything. it's full. Every seat.
Right. We'll come back. We'll look up the capacity. We'll take a quick break, look up the capacity, come back to you with some facts.
Facts.
Live from Britsburg. Just kidding. I'm in Hamilton. Yeah, so wrestling this week, or wrestling at least Friday night, was pretty fucking good. Enjoyable. I didn't want to change the channel once. I enjoyed it. I thought the storytelling was top notch. The action was pretty good. We only had an hour combined between the two shows. We only had an hour of action, but they made up for that with promos and backstage segments and stuff. So I'm not going to hold that against them, because when you can entertain me for 3 hours straight, which Raw hasn't done for a while, I'll give you credit for that. Well done to the wrestling world.
Especially on a Friday. I don't know about you, but if as a Leafs fan, when they have a game on a Friday night, it's almost one of those things where you'd rather be doing something else. And like as even as a diehard Leafs fan, you're just like, it's Friday. It just feels off. So the fact that I can be excited about watching something on a Friday night, I'm all for.
And you know what though? Because like I'm old. Like I like being set. I like being settled down by like 9:30, 9:45. Like, yeah, I'll go to the occasional concert or club night one night. Like if me and my wife go to a bar, oh yeah, I'm married now, by the way. Shout out everybody. But
Married guy.
But like if I go to a bar or something, like we go at like 7 o'clock and we're back home by 9:45. So like if SmackDown sucks, at least I can still catch Rampage.
No, exactly. Like literally.
Like
And
it's
one of those
perfect.
things where
I'm really excited for this, what Rampage can do, and I hope they can keep it going. I think their best approach is to leave us wanting more, and they did that this week, and I hope they can keep that going.
No, I completely agree. And I think I really want to get into this. So I'm going to ask you a question is when it comes to wanting more, when do you think, if they do, when do you think they bring out Punk on Rampage on Friday?
So I think there's so many options here. The most obvious one is against Darby Allin. I think that's a waste of a first match, to be honest. I don't think Darby Allin's a big enough star to go up against Punk. Do they find a way to squeeze Punk into a title match against Omega? Maybe that's a little too fast, but also it's the biggest return to pro wrestling ever.
Like literally ever.
Like like the top two biggest ones, maybe the Hardys at WrestleMania 33 and Sting at Survivor Series 2015.
But they never stopped wrestling though. This is somebody who stopped wrestling for longer than 4 years. We haven't seen him wrestle since 2013, 2014.
Yeah. And like some people are like, well, Goldberg stopped wrestling and came back. Yeah, but nobody wanted to see Goldberg. Yeah, nobody wanted to see Goldberg come back. There's a difference here. We've been wanting Punk to return for 9+ years. So it's exciting. You got to nail it though. And I've seen some wrestling insiders and former writers say like, oh yeah, you should bring him back on commentary and do a slow build. No, you fucking don't. You fucking hit it right away.
And that's where I want to go with my prediction. I think I literally think the Rampage music hits, the show starts and no, because then you're I don't know. I don't think there's a better way to start a show. Could you imagine in Chicago?
But then where do you go from there?
Yeah, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, does it really matter with an hour show with knowing what's going to happen?
That's why I think you're not hurting the product if you close with it, because it's only an hour.
But you need to give it enough time. You need to give us enough time on TV to see that reaction. That's
why. So my prediction is, and this is like dream for me, Jericho loses to MJF or beats it. I don't know. They'll figure it out. The MJF Jericho match happens on Dynamite. And then for some reason they have a segment on Rampage and, so one of them asks for another match. And Jericho's like, oh, by the way, I called him back up, and this man will be fighting for me in place because Jericho's unfit to compete at All Out. And then Punk's music hits, and then that closes the show. So then you get Punk versus MJF, two of the best talkers on the mic. MJF's a fantastic in-ring performer. If Punk still can't go, MJF can carry him through a match. Or if you need to, there's a 6 labor of Jericho, and it's Punk.
I don't like adding the 6 labor into a 5 labor thing. That's been a 5 labor thing for all this time.
But I think for the first match, you may need somebody who can carry Punk. He hasn't done a professional match in 8-9 years.
No, I'll give you that 100%.
Jericho's that guy. MJF's that guy. Moxley could carry him through a match. I don't know if Darby could carry him through a match.
Moxley versus Punk.
But
just send me to heaven already.
The only issue I have with that is you got 2 WWE guys going against each other, and I have that issue with Jericho too. You got 2 WWE guys going against each other on an AEW show. That would feel a little weird. I feel like he's going against a pure AEW talent.
I want to argue that because I think at this point Jon Moxley has made himself an AEW guy. I don't think of Jon Moxley as anything close to what he was with Dean Ambrose.
No, but no, I agree with you on that, but you're still like, oh, Moxley was in AEW, was in WWE, Punk was in WWE. You'd have people saying that. I think they're going to want somebody who was with AEW and hasn't been on WWE. I don't know why. I just think it's kind of like AEW still has this indie mentality, and I think they're going to want to stick with that, even though they're so much bigger than the indies right now. Like, they are a mainstream product in today's media. Like,
so I'll give you a question. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Does it honestly bother you that much if a talent was wasted in WWE to be considered a ex-WWE guy? Does that really bother you that much? Because at the end of the day, the majority of talent has been through the WWE system, at least at one point. Kenny Omega. You don't think of Kenny Omega as a WWE guy, right?
No, like it doesn't bother me. I'm just like, I don't care. Like, a wrestler is a wrestler. There's a bunch of guys. Like, look at let's use EC3 as an example. If he came over to AEW right now and was one of their top guys, I don't consider him like a WWE guy. He never held the title. He never had a main event match. He was never a top guy. Sure, he was big shit in NXT, but that wasn't against AEW, right? But let's say, like, for example, Roman Reigns, for some reason, hops to AEW. That's a WWE guy.
No, 100%. 100%.
Right? Like there's a line drawn somewhere. So it's just stuff like that. But AEW has done a pretty good job of separating the WWE talent from the AEW talent, in words of, your WWE character is not being reflected on our show.
No, exactly. And that's where Jericho comes from. Because yes, Jericho is obviously always going to be a WWE guy. That's what you're going to think of his time in WWE. If anybody thinks of Chris Jericho, they're going to be like, oh, that guy used to be in WWF. That guy used to be in WWE. Yeah, so it's one of those things where...
And that's the thing with Jericho. He's like, to me, he's not a WWE product. He's on AEW product. He's on a New Japan product. Chris Jericho is wrestling. He's the best thing going on in AEW. He's the best thing to happen to pro wrestling. He went from WWE, jumped over to New Japan, had a fucking fantastic match with Kenny Omega, went back to Raw. Like, he was so big, they let him go back to Raw while he was signed with New Japan for a reunion show where he put Elias on the list. By the way,
wore his shirt from New Japan.
Exactly. I saw a tweet that was like, Elias's guitar is all elite. That made me piss myself laughing. I thought that was so good, because apparently Elias isn't doing that anymore. Like, that's fantastic. So I just think, AEW is pushing boundaries right now, and that's forcing WWE to kind of do the same thing.
No, exactly. Right? Which is in my opinion, it's a good thing.
Yeah. But to answer your original question, which I went way off track with, I think Punk debuts at the end of the show with like 15 minutes left.
So basically what you're like, would you be okay with a cliffhanger type debut?
100%.
I'm someone who's I'm sticking to my point, and I'm sticking to my gun where I think it's going to happen at the beginning of the show. But at the same time, okay, so if it doesn't, I'm okay with that cliffhanger debut / ending.
See, my follow-up to you is if he debuts at the beginning, the rest of the show is going to be shit.
But yeah, you're right. As someone is like, I'm okay that I'm going to be wrong, because I know I'm going to be wrong. But it's just one of those things where I'm so excited. I just kind of wanted to get it over with. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm so excited about.
But like, exactly. if you think about it, they can hint about it all night. Like, welcome to Rampage, the first dance where you can prove that you're the best in the world. It's like they say that all night. It's like, okay, this guy's coming. And then if he doesn't show up, there's gonna be some pissed off people.
No, he's showing up. I've heard rumors of him just like him. He's been quarantining for almost 2 weeks. That's how serious he is about debuting in Chicago.
Right. Yeah. Like, this guy this is gonna be fantastic. I'm so excited.
It's. I don't think I've ever been this excited for an hour TV show in my life.
I'm trying to think the last time I was excited for a show.
I'm off the next 2 days from work, and I am pissed because it's going to be so slow because of how excited I am.
The last time I was this excited for a show was WrestleMania 33, when there was a slight rumor that the Hardys were coming back.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another time, and maybe the fatal
October 2nd, maybe the debut of AEW, because of it was like that newfound birth into pro wrestling.
Yeah, like I wasn't as big as an indie darling as you at the time.
Yes, fair enough.
Like I was kind of introduced to that world with the birth of AEW. I was like, oh, this looks cool. It's on TSN. I'll watch it. I like wrestling. I like John Moxley. I know Kenny Omega's good. Chris Jericho is one of my favorites. So I kind of grew with the product.
See, with me, it was for me, it was like a bunch of my favorite indie wrestlers finally getting a chance.
Yeah, which is cool. Like it's cool. Exactly. We have those different perspectives. And like another. Oh, I had it in my head. I can't even fucking remember what it was now. Nope, don't remember. Oh well. But anything else in the wrestling world you want to address?
Just pure excitement, honestly. It's just I don't think I've ever been this excited for multiple shows at the same time. It sucks that NXT is kind of falling off the wagon because what excitement would be if there was a 2 shows on Wednesday and 2 shows on Friday that we were both pumped up for. You know what I mean?
Right. You wanted to do SummerSlam predictions. Do you have those, or do you want me to pull up the match card?
Pull up the match card and we'll kind of go through all the predictions.
Sure.
All right. For both of us.
So this is courtesy of Bleacher Report. I think they have 8 matches queued up right now. So we'll just go off that. Maybe we'll do a quick little 15-minute follow-up on Saturday morning or something. Maybe we can do that.
That works.
So the first match they have here is Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Who do you have winning this match?
Drew McIntyre.
Okay, and I had the same thing. Does he behead Mahal?
No, but I think something gets done where the sword gets used in a way, but they almost go backstage with it, so they can kind of do that fake video.
He's got to use the sword because now
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
If you're kind of lost, the sword was allowed ringside on Raw because of a stupid handicap match between Veer and Shanky. So,
but my prediction is who cares, and my finish is who cares.
Exactly. United States Championship, Sheamus versus Damian Priest, which I think may have changed tonight, but
we'll have to double up on that one. But I think Damian Priest finally gets his big shot because I don't know about you, but this is a kind of a side question in leading into the predictions. But do you not get the sense that WWE is kind of leading towards SummerSlam as their bigger show compared to WrestleMania nowadays?
It feels like it, yeah.
It just feels like it's that. I mean, it may be because of the pandemic and we're actually allowed more fans this time around. But even John Cena said the biggest stage of them all, and that's usually the slogan or the tagline that gets kind of brought up with WrestleMania. So I'm all for. I've always been a SummerSlam fan. When people think of WWE, they think of Slam, so it's that SummerSlam thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, leading into the predictions, I think Damian Priest finally gets his shot.
Yeah. Edge versus Seth Rollins. I got Edge in this.
I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins.
Yeah. All right.
I think Edge is okay with putting people over. Yes, it does put a damper into Edge's road to the championship, but I mean he signed a 3-year contract, right?
Yeah.
So they have time to finally give him his big win, and I don't think his big win's coming anytime soon because of the kind of the storylines leading into everything. But I don't know. It has that Seth Rollins big win kind of all over it.
See, I got Edge because I think they use this as kind of momentum to build towards him either winning at Survivor Series, which they just announced, or WrestleMania.
Here's a good one for you. Do you think the winner of this match determines who's going to win out of Cena versus Roman because of babyface versus heel type thing? Because both those guys are kind of leading into the contendership of the Universal title.
I don't know. I think the Money in the Bank plays a huge role in this because they're trying to make us forget about the Money in the Bank with Baron Corbin and all that. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding who. We'll get to it. But I got Edge on this one. Next match, which may or may not happen, but we're gonna predict anyway. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair.
Well, hopefully it happens. Let's be honest. Let's
I got Banks.
I don't think it's time for Bianca to lose yet. I don't think we've gotten enough out of her title reign.
I've had enough.
That's another thing I was going to ask. It's one of those things where maybe if we haven't got enough, but maybe we've had enough, and maybe it's just time to kind of give up on her as champion because it just really hasn't done much. It's kind of how the way I feel about her title reign now is kind of how you probably felt about Drew's at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's just like let's just get it over with. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Yeah, like I say, Drew was the perfect pandemic champion.
And it's such a good thing to say, but at the same time, it's not, because who cares, right?
Yeah. SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos versus the Mysterios. I got the Usos with Dominic turning on Ray at the end, or Ray turning on Dominic.
I got the Usos winning, but I don't like. I think I agree with you in the sense where I think it's going to start the lead up into that, where I hope it's going to be like a 2 or 3 month storyline before they finally get the breakup.
Yeah.
But I think I definitely agree in the sense where it's going to start leading into it. I don't think it's going to happen yet, but I think this is what's going to kind of finally be the thing that breaks Dominic away from Ray.
Nah, I got a full Dominic heel turn happening here.
I'm okay with it. I really am. I'm okay with it being wrong.
So I forgot about this match, and this match has potential because it is a no DQ match. Because it's a triple threat. We got Charlotte Flair versus Nikki, Almost a Superhero, versus Rhea Ripley.
I got Charlotte, and this is my big prediction. This is kind of the reason I wanted to do prediction. Charlotte finally wins her, I think now her 12th championship. And all you hear is, "Oh, Becky Lynch finally makes her big return."
See, I don't think it matters who wins this match for that to happen.
I agree with you in a sense, but at the same time, I don't care about anything else other than Charlotte versus Becky.
Don't want to see it again. If Ronda Rousey's not involved, I don't want to see it.
Fuck Ronda Rousey. I think she's trash wrestler.
But you want to see her back.
I wish you were right, man, but I don't care about Ronda Rousey when it comes to WWE.
Fair enough. We all have our opinions. I don't know. Like, I feel like Becky Lynch, when she left, was so big that she has to return in the main event, and this match is not main eventing SummerSlam.
No, 100%. But it's one of those things where how long are we gonna?
Because
how long are we gonna wait? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, Survivor Series. I don't know.
Yeah.
This match. Like, here's the thing. Becky Lynch comes back in this match. Whatever goes on last, I'm assuming Cena Reigns is the main event.
I would assume so. I'd hope so.
Then
I think Cena's winning that one.
Then that either closes with Cena winning his 17th title, becoming the greatest of all time, or a cash-in.
Well, you don't think to be honest with you?
Well, let's get to it.
Yeah,
Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Who do you have winning, and do you have a cash-in happening?
So this is literally what I was just about to say. So these two matches can kind of go hand in hand. So I think if Goldberg versus Lashley is the second to last match, then Lashley's winning. Then Goldberg's winning.
I don't think Goldberg wins, man. I can't see Goldberg winning this match because he's not sticking around till.
That's what I was gonna say. I think if Goldberg wins, you see a Big E cash in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think that's going to be your main event, though. That leads into Cena winning his 17th championship in the main event.
I'd be okay if the closing of SummerSlam was Cena breaking a record. I'd be fine with that.
But yeah, actually, you know what? I kind of want to go against myself there because I don't see Vince McMahon and WWE doing 2 happy endings in a row with 2 happy title reigns or title wins.
Take a look at WrestleMania 35. All the baby faces won. Kofi won, Becky won, and Rollins won.
Yeah, and if you want to make this a big show, that's how you do it.
You got fans back in the building. You want a loud arena. That's what you do.
Yeah, 100%. I'm okay with it.
Biggest pop of the night, John Cena beating Roman Reigns.
No, 100%.
Fuck, he can win it back at what's the next pay-per-view? Great Balls of Fire, whatever the hell it is.
He could win it on a SmackDown 2 weeks from now. Who cares? It makes SmackDown more interesting.
Big E could win it. Who cares?
Exactly. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, so those are our predictions. Let us know why we're wrong.
Or if we're wrong. Or we might be right.
We might be right. We might be booking the show. You don't know.
We own WWE.
Yeah. Also, guys, I just want to give a massive shout out to everybody listening because we've actually seen pretty good numbers on this show. The YouTube views are lower, but the Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming ones, they're way high. We got like 200 plus listens on all streaming services. So thank you very much for that. For those
Shout
sticking
out to
around.
Kenny who shout out to my brother Kenny who listens to our podcast on his way home from work.
Shout out Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny.
Kenny the sweeper.
Hey.
Hey. All right. Anything else, bro? Are you good?
I'm good, man. That was a great episode. Hope everyone enjoys.
NXT on Saturday.
Let's
No,
go.
fuck.
No,
NXT
SummerSlam on Saturday.
SummerSlam on. Why have they done this? They've screwed me up.
All right, I got you. All right, everybody. So
SummerSlam.
today is Monday. We got Raw tonight, which we'll have to get into. We got AEW, we got tomorrow night. We got NXT. Wednesday we got Dynamite, and Thursday we'll be covering that in the next episode of Orion's Belt.
Okay, so we're going Thursday. We're going Thursday.
If you're down with Thursday,
Let's go Thursday. Let's go Thursday.
Right.
I like Monday, Thursday. I like that.
And then on Friday, we'll be catching up on SmackDown and Rampage. And hopefully we can do maybe a Saturday morning show.
We'll figure
down with that.
We'll figure
it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, you'll be hearing from us soon.
Yeah. All right. Just remember, Punk's not the best in the world. You are.